But I mean, I got to give you my reaction because they really didn't watch the Super Bowl. As you know, I was a little bit turned off by the whole social justice thing a couple of years ago, and a friend of mine did record it. And I happened to actually catch just around the halftime. I just wanted to see what the score was. And the reason being is because I was actually rooting for the Patriots. I didn't want to call it out there, but I'll tell you why in just a second here. But I actually caught the fact that the NFL has come right out and they've become the champions of social justice. Now, I ask you, just take the second. Just you go and you take the second in time that it takes for you to actually go and Google, and you Google, and I'm going to do it right now, social justice. And if you do that, Google will come up with basically a definition right at the very top, a dictionary. Just put social justice in. And right at the top, it says, justice in terms of the distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privileges within a society. That is communism, my friends, within a society. And the NFL has become the champions of communism in our society. So they're nationalists, all right. They're statists, all right. Maybe that's why they took the brand, the National Football League, instead of the American Football League, because it is the antithesis of the American ideals and ideologies that this nation was founded upon. But all of that said, I'm going to actually start exploiting that because I'm going to start replaying those types of things as I can get away with it, because I know that they have copyrights on that crap. And that's okay. I would love to see them come after me. As long as I just use short little snippets, 30 seconds or what have you. And so as long as they come after me, then I'm okay with the fact of, here's the big multi-billion dollar business that is trying to squash somebody that's pointing them out to be communists. But here's the interesting thing. The reason I wanted the Patriots to win was not because the name Patriots. I mean, the Kraft family is a bunch of socialists as well. They're not for individual liberty and sovereignty, and they're all a part of the big Borg. Maybe they are good people, and they're not as bad as some others. I mean, it's kind of like the light beer and the beer. I mean, it all has alcohol in it, right? The point is that I know that the NFL has been struggling. The reason they went into LA was to actually expand their market. Here is a city that has, 30 million in the greater Los Angeles area. I mean, it's a huge city, and it's an indictment that city has the size of population that it does, and it does not have any NFL football teams, or it hadn't had any NFL football teams for years and years and years, right? And so here they've brought two teams, not just one, two teams to hopefully, be able to saturate that market. And they had to have winning seasons to really become successful at that. It's not like any of these teams came with a real big national following. The Patriots have a big following. The Oakland Raiders have a big following. The Jets used to have a big following. Dallas Cowboys, they have a big following. And so the Chargers, now the Rams were kind of popular, when they were a part of LA, but they made a huge mistake by moving out. And I'm just going to say they kind of poked the people in the eye in LA, and they really needed a win. And I was telling people that I actually predict an LA win, whether it be the Chargers and this was early on, due to the fact that LA needs to have a real, some wind in their sails. So they need to win a Super Bowl and prove that they've got a viable team, that, they're going places, and they're going to get people to start coming out, because that's how you get your revenue pumping, right? Well, you don't pump revenue when you lose a Super Bowl. And there is also the Super Bowl curse and everything else. So the reason I was hoping for the Patriots to win had really more to do with, watching the NFL continue to struggle in that market, as well as struggle across the board. The fact that they actually came out and was honest enough to tell people that they are champions for communism by, pushing social justice, then a case closed. I mean, they did the work for me. All you have to do is enter 2 words into Google: social justice. Make them change what they are fighting for, because that's what they do. That's exactly what the statist communists do, or the Platonists. They change their label so all of a sudden they're ahead of the curve, so that as soon as we get exposed to communism or socialism and those types of terms, then people go, oh, okay. Then all of a sudden they have to change because people now have a bad impression. But what is this new thing? Antifa, what is that? And I'm bringing that up because that's been in the news, and we need to talk about that as well. But let me kind of really quickly go over this